Cooksy Mob, what is up? Hey, I feel like I'm gonna bring you guys an extra good video just because I'm not doing the lives because, well, I like to have my Saturdays to do my stuff, but I'm watching the races just like you guys, contacting people, getting the information, so don't worry about that. I'm still paying attention. But there is something. I did the video on Ricky Carmichael last week. It was pretty controversial. Not many people have called out the GOAT. But you guys know me. When I get something wrong, I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you I got it wrong. And I definitely got it wrong on the video. I got to walk this back. I really apologize. This is something, sometimes you get good information. Sometimes you put your foot in your mouth. I definitely did on this one, big time. So I want to personally apologize to every single hillbilly out there. I don't want you to be in the same category as Ricky Carmichael. From what I know, hillbillies are good people. Hillbillies are very nice. They take care of their friends and they don't stab them in the back. They're not selfish. I apologize to each and every hillbilly. So with that said, let's get into a little bit more of this stuff. Jett is just toying with the 450 class. Hayden Deegan. Oh, Hayden Deegan. So I may have gone from a detractor to his biggest fan. I love watching this kid race. So we'll get into that. MX Sports is at it again. Oh my gosh, this one is disgusting. I cannot believe the things that happen in the sport. It blows me away. There's a person at Lynn's who's part of, I mean, they're kind of famous in Loretta Lynn's history. And is a sex offender. Like, is it not bad enough that we have Kevin Walker going back there and being all creepy? Now to find out part of the track is named after a sex offender. Oh my God, seriously. Yeah, I'm gonna get into that. And I get these tips. People give them to me because other people are afraid to put them out there for whatever the reason. Obviously, I'm not. So instead of just kind of waiting for these to fall in my lap, hey, if you've got an injustice, if you've got an issue that you want brought to light that can make the sport better, bring it to me. Just so you know, I'm going to vet it. I'm going to check multiple sources and do my own research. But if you want to point me in the direction of something that needs to be fixed in the sport, hit me. Let's do it. Apparently, the chances of me ever getting a press pass in the United States again is nil. But like I said, it's because I tell the truth and I point at things that bother me, point at things that I want fixed that make the sport better. And having a sex offender working at Loretta Lynn's at an event with children bothers me. That bothers me. That's just not the right place to have a sex offender. So it is what it is. Anyway, guys, remember, subscribe. The bigger this channel gets, the more injustice I can uncover. So let's get into this. But
you need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say that's the bad guy.
you guys know who to thank. EBC Brakes, they kick ass. They're awesome. They're one of the good brands out there. Complete Racing Solutions. You guys know Coach Rob. Coach Rob is a genius when it comes to fitness. He'll have you dialed in. His programs start at $22. Go up from there. Let him know Cooksy sent you. Epic Garage Designs. If you have not checked out Epic Garage Designs and the slat wall, flooring, cabinets, whatever you need for your garage, garage, bathroom, closet. I guess not just garages. And if you need blinds, hey, guess what? Epic does blinds now. So yeah, we're all in. Strapped, the goggle company that literally goes with Cooksy Media. Strapped, ridestrap.com. They're not afraid to ruffle feathers, neither am I. Watching the 450 class yesterday was boring, but not. There's a lot of really good storylines. It's hard when we watch greatness because what we kind of want is we want that intensity, that anticipation. We do not want to know the result. That's what makes a lot of this thing fun is when we watch the races, if it's a foregone conclusion, it's not fun to watch. That's why we want to watch it live instead of a rerun. Why do we get mad when we find out the results before we watch it? Because we want to know it's not a foregone conclusion, that anything can happen. And this sport's wild, and more often than not, we get drama that you couldn't script in Hollywood. With that said, I don't think we're going to get it. I made a bet with Johnny Hopper in the 450 class. He bet Jett was going to go 22-0. I said no chance. I honestly think I'm wrong. After this weekend and seeing the way he actually toyed with the field, my only hope is that maybe Chase comes back, which I don't expect. Maybe Hurlings will come over here. Maybe there'll be a mud race. I don't know. I need some help here to win this bet because the way Jett, Jason Thomas on the broadcast had a perfect analogy. He compared, he said, Jett can be Trent Dilfer and manage, or he can be Aaron Rodgers, so he can take over. And he chooses, and he can turn it on and off like nobody I've ever seen. It is, I can't underestimate how hard it is to get into a pace of 80% of your speed, realize the guy's catching you, then break back out of that and get back to 100. Jett does it with ease. As soon as AP got into second and started reeling him in, he drops 2 seconds. Just like that. It's like, oh, I need to go. Okay, so I'll go. And he just manages that lead. It's unbelievable. Like, seriously, this is a talent. James Stewart changed the sport in many ways on the way we ride a bike. Jett is changing it in the way we look at racecraft. It's amazing. And his brother kind of does the same thing. He's just not quite as good at it in the 250 class, but it's amazing. But poor AP was just riding his ass off. I mean, he got roosted that whole first moto by Dylan Ferrandis. And then he comes out, battles into second, crashes, and then breaks his lever. And they can't get the thing started. This, to me, baffles me still. Why do these factory teams, there's levers that don't break or are really, really hard to break. Why are they running stock levers? Why are they running these janky levers on this factory bike? How much money is invested in this sport, in doing good and getting results and showing off? Yet they run a janky little lever. Just use a breakaway lever. There's so many different things you can do with the levers. Upgrade the levers, you cheap asses. Or it's not even that they're cheap. It's just dumb. It's just like an oversight. So fix the levers, guys. Dylan Ferrandis is getting better. Is he going to have anything for Jett? I sure don't think so. Cooper Webb fought his ass off. It's nice to see Cooper out there battling. Adam Cincerillo, it's so hard because he's the one guy I think who's on a talent level that can touch where Jett is, but his body's letting him down. There's no chance he's that slow to go the way he did in that second moto. His hand's numb. How do you ride with a numb hand? It's brutal. But I'm cheering for Adam, and hopefully this thing works itself out. If not, maybe we see him in the booth and he fixes those problems and takes over for Carmichael. Hopefully. Ty Masterpool, brilliant. Brilliant move to get out of that highly competitive 250 class and jump into the 450 class and get yourself a 6th place. Great job, Ty Masterpool. Way to take advantage of the situation. Way to recognize where you can go and where you can get some good results. So good on you. Ty Masterpool. Derek Drake looks really good on that 450, but everyone kind of looks good. I mean, you can't argue. Like, you look at the lap times, look at the top 4 or 5 guys, and as soon as the factory guys are done, it's like a 2 to 3 second a lap drop. Although Jerry Robin, Lorenzo Lucrucio, some of these guys are getting some pretty good. I feel like their confidence is growing. The more they're in that top 10, the more confidence they'll grow. Unfortunately, Freddie Noren, Fast Freddie, had a really good first moto, and he's caught up in that nasty. That was one of the worst first turn pileups I've ever seen. I mean, I was almost wondering if they were going to red flag it. Those bikes were stacked up. I was just like, I hope there's nobody underneath those. It was nasty. Yeah, it does happen from time to time, but it's rare that you see one that collects that many guys that badly. Especially on, the Hangtown is relatively short start and not quite as high speed. When you see those kind of crashes, it's usually at Unadilla because that one's kind of a dangerous start the way they have it. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for the 450s. Now we'll touch on the 250s. 250 class. This class is probably as competitive of a class as I can remember. I mean, all the way down to like 15th place. These guys are hauling ass. Like I said, Ty Masterpool, brilliant. Bounce out of that class and get into the 450 class where you can get up in the top 10s, no problem. I mean, honestly, if I'm any of these guys in the back of it, like Marchbanks, I bet Marchbanks is kicking himself for not riding a 450 this year. It bums me out that he's on a 250 because I think he's a bigger guy. I'm not sure what his reasoning was or why he wanted to be back on the 250. I'll have to, I actually talked to him quite a bit. I think he's a great guy. I'm a huge fan of Garrett Marchbanks. I'm going to reach out to him. I'll find out. I'll get an answer for you on that one, guys. But Hunter Lawrence, he's great, man. I mean, these Lawrence brothers are really taking over American motocross. They are it. First moto, he does what he needs to do. He understands how competitive this class is and how much fire that Justin Cooper and Hayden Deegan came out with, and he managed it, got third, comes out, wins the second moto, gets himself his second overall of the year. Is he perfect? No, but he's doing exactly what he needs to in this wild 250 class. Because unlike the 450 class, you can lose a lot of points really quick because there's so many good guys. So Hunter Lawrence he's doing it exactly what he needs to. He's gradually building that strength to be the guy. Justin Cooper, much improved. And like I said, after Paula, he needed a huge improvement. He still looked really dejected on the podium, but I think he can get it going. I think he can get there, and I do think he's going to challenge Hunter. He's not going to let him just walk away with this, although he may not be the best guy on that star team. Hayden Deegan, I might be the biggest fan of this guy. Like, I've completely turned around. You guys know how I felt. I'm very open. I think his dad's kind of a knucklehead. With that said, you cannot argue with the results. The results, right there. I mean, he is badass. He's legit. He's a generational talent, just like Jett Lawrence. The way he handled that first moto and his endurance to maintain it all the way through and hold off Justin Cooper. And this isn't like the old days when guys got to the 250 class, like when Ricky Carmichael moved up to the 250 class. Most of the good guys were in the 450 class. You had like Steve Lamson and a couple other pretty good riders. But now you have guys like Justin Cooper, RJ Hampshire, that are spending their whole career there, and they're at a much higher level than it was 20 years ago. So, him coming in and winning automatically is just, he reminds me of Carmichael when Carmichael came in. He rides a lot like him. He's got that fire like him. And, like I said, personally, on the track, Carmichael's still the greatest of all time. And I see Hayden, and I think of a young Ricky Carmichael out there battling. And I love his interviews. He's so good I love that after he's authentic in saying he broke Justin Cooper in that first moto. That is one of the most insulting things you could say to another rider, but he's not wrong. It's exactly what happened. He did. And I love that he did that. And don't lose that, Hayden. And I'm sure he won't, because as much as I dislike Brian, that's what he's good at, is knowing how to work the media, putting the red chest protector on him so he looked different. I love anything you can do on these stupid teams that dress everyone the same. If you can do something to your outfit to separate yourself, do it. You understand the value in that. That holds value. I guess Levi Kitchen had it on too, but he was back in 10th, so I didn't really see him. But I spotted Hayden, no problem with that red chest protector. Good on him, brilliant idea. Tom Vial, much improved. Johnny Hopper is just loving Tom Vial. He's good, and we had to debate whether he'd win a moto or not. And I'm not sure. There's too many good guys. If it goes the right way, he could, but I wouldn't bank on it. He's definitely going to get up there and get some podiums and stuff, though. RJ Hampshire, typical RJ. If you don't get the start, he rides his ass off. He'll never cheat you on effort. He's fun to watch. He ended up 5th. Joe Schmoda, poor Joe Schmoda, that sucked. Okay, so the Pro Circuit team has some issues right now, and I talked to some people close to that team. All the riders are kind of like revolting. The bike is good because, Mitch knows what he knows, how to get power, and it's kind of hard to argue a guy with his pedigree and say, hey, the bike isn't what we want. But the bike's twitchy. The bike scares these kids. It's not comfortable to ride. And that's, no matter how good a bike is, if your rider isn't comfortable, he's not going to push. He's not going to go to that next level. And that's where these riders are all at. They're all, you got Joe, who's looking to get to Honda. You got Ryder, who's looking to go to gas. They're giving their full efforts, but they're not confident in knowing what that bike's going to do. And that's why I think a lot of them are getting hurt and kind of scared to get hurt. It's not that the bike's not good. It's just hard to predict. It's really twitchy. I'm trying to think of the right analogy for it, but I'm coming up short. Gilliam Ferris. This kid's awesome. The Spaniard, riding his ass off, battling with Tom Vial in that first moto. Good on him. Levi Kitchen. This guy won a moto at Colorado, which they're going to next. So we'll see if he can get up there and kind of get in the mix. He's that good. Although he's heading to Pro Circuit next year on that twitchy bike. Was that a mistake? I don't know. Jalik Swoll. I was so happy to see Jalik. Jalik's a good kid. I called him out way back in the day. Then he came on and did an interview with me, and I let him trash me a little bit for, I can't remember. I used him as an example as a rookie that didn't deserve his ride over someone who did ride. Either way, I love that he came on gave me crap, and now we're good, and I totally respect him. He rode his ass off. He fought so hard, and I mean, he went off the track, almost hit a fan, came back. Can't disrespect the effort. He's coming off a badly broken arm. It's hard to get back up to speed, but I love to see the fire. Good on Jalik. That was awesome. Ryder D, same thing, fighting his ass off. Max Voland, I was disappointed. I don't know what happened to him. That was his hometown track. I really, really expected him to be in the top 5, and I mean, he was just quiet all day long. Chance Hymas looked really good in that second moto. Watch this, guys. This is funny. Somebody out there that knows the amateur history, there's got to be some sort of a history with him and Hayden Deegan. Because when Hayden Deegan gets behind Chance Hymas, he goes, he is not going to let Chance Hymas beat him. He just won't. It's like kind of like when Webb gets behind Roxon. I feel like there's more to that story. I don't have it. If anyone has it, is there something from the amateurs? I don't know what it is, but whenever Hayden Deegan gets behind Hymas, it's like a bullseye on him. So. But that's it, guys. The outdoor series, it's fun to watch. Like I said, let's watch for different things. Is it the highest level in the 450? No, but just enjoy it. You're watching greatness in Jett. You're watching one of the most competitive 250 classes ever. So there's lots of good things to watch. But now, the information, Loretta Lynn's. This is very disappointing. Am I really disappointed, though? It's MX Sports. My God. I even listen, you guys know Davey and I have not a very good relationship. I called him out. I don't like him talking down to me. I don't think anyone else stands up to him when he talks to them. They all just cower. Same thing with like Carmichael and these guys. I challenge him on his stuff. I call him on ripping off the riders. I call him when I see something. But at the same time, I'm kind of bummed that he won't talk to me anymore, because genuinely I do like talking to Davey Coombs. Davey Coombs he's actually fun to talk to. He's got a really good history of the sport. He knows what he's doing. I guess that's why it frustrates me so bad that he doesn't pay the riders more and do these things a little bit differently. Like, he's so close to being the savior of the sport, but then he's just not. Like, it bums me out. But like Loretta Lynn's. So you guys have heard of, they go to Storyland in the back, right? Apparently that's named after the Story family, or James Story, who is a registered sex offender in Tennessee. Seriously, how do we have guys working for MX Sports naming parts of the track after them, and they're a sex offender? Like, come on, man, do a little bit of research. Background checks, come on, people, this is disgusting. This isn't even just like at a national, this is at a children's event. At a children's event, I'm sorry, but maybe we just get sex. If you've been a sex offender, stay out of children's events. It's just not good. Don't do it. It's frustrating. So, once again, guys, when they could do something good, like, how do they not notice that? And like I said, I text Davey. I showed him the screenshot that I'm going to put up on the screen right here of this guy and his sex offender. And yeah, it's frustrating that they overlook some of this stuff. And I don't know if it was on mistake or on purpose. I don't know, but please don't name parts of the track after sex offenders. It's embarrassing. It's not good for the sport. Yeah, let's do away with Storyland. Let's just call that a different part of the track. No more Storyland. Story, yeah. So we're out on that, guys. Anyway, that's it, guys. I'm going to have Kenny Watson on this week, and I'm going to bust his balls about folding and kind of bowing down to Ricky Carmichael. We talked. Like I said, I called him after the show we did last week. I said, dude, I'm really disappointed in you. I can't believe you did that. He's like, no, man. And he tried to explain it. And I said, all right, well, he's all, you know what? Have me back on, call me out. But I love Kenny. Kenny will stand up. He'll say what he says, and he'll give me a reason, and we'll go from there. So anyway, guys, have a good week.